is going on? I'm Steve. Hope you're doing awesome today. So I'm back with 4 Bob Seger hits, classic easygoing strumming songs right there that was still the same. I've got Turn the Page coming up. Another one that a viewer told me about that I just thought was awesome. I'd never even heard of his. And Old Time Rock and Roll, you know that classic hit? And for that one, I thought about sliding out in my underwear like Tom Cruise, but everybody'd be like, unsubscribe. Seriously, if you like this and if it's helpful, click the button to become a member for just a couple of bucks to say thanks and get some exclusive content. All right, let's kick it off with Old Time Rock and Roll, but you're actually gonna put a capo on the 2nd fret and play the same thing I just showed you a second ago. Like that. It's a bar chord in E major. It's not that hard, but if you can nail this thing and get the intensity, you know, the build up, everybody around you will be like, oh man, I know that song. They'll love it and start singing along. So it's E major, but you've got this finger on the 9th fret of the A string and this one on the 11th of the D, G, and B strings like that. And you hit that low E and build up this. Ready? Start on the low parts and try not to hit that B string really like this. Like that. Real quiet. Like that, but you gotta build up real quickly. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go from like really quiet to loud. Now you go down 2 frets, and when you go down 2 frets, don't hit the low E again. And then go down 2 more frets. Oh, sorry, 1 more fret, duh. And then down there, 2 frets to the B. So it's E, D, and then D flat, and now you're at B, the B chord right there. So do it like this. It's very hard. You got to quickly just release and get the timing, but once you do, just take those oranges on the shelf. I'll show you the chords, E, and I'll show you some bells and whistles in a second. A to B. Let's spice it up a little bit. Ready? Just like the That's really cool, isn't it? You can do all sorts of stuff. So E, and just lay this finger down flat. You're just taking an E major and just laying it down right here onto the A. So you're going from E, just E to A real quickly with, you know, mostly leaving those bass notes. And when you go to A, you can lay this finger down instead of playing an A major, you know, like that. Lay this finger down right here and go. Love this thing right here. You take the 4th fret of the D and you go to the 6th fret right there. And then you're on the 4th fret of the B string, and you go to the 5th fret, and you're sort of going from A to D, but a cooler way to do it because you leave that open A string. Hear that? Like that. Very nice. You're not even worrying about the high E string. And then when you go to B, you can do a B bar chord like this and go. That you're just going into a B major bar chord and adding the pinky right there to the 7th fret of the B string. Na, 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 E, and I went to a B7th, and you can do some blues like that where you got the 4th fret of the A to the 6th fret back to the 4th like that while with a low E and get some palm muting. Saw I went way up here to like an F major shape, but you're on the 9th fret for a B major and go E, B, and back to E major, E, and it does that all the way through the whole song. Next up, we got a really great strumming song called Till It Shines. I had never heard this until a viewer suggested it, and I think it's just great. Check this out. Chord progression sweet, and then you got these high notes that I'll show you in a second. Not that hard at all. So let's hit the chords. Ready? C major, no capo needed, and you go like this. To E minor. Sometimes I play E minor with one finger, but you know, 2 is standard right there. To A minor, to G, and you get a nice little rhythm. You can, you know, pop it like this. C, E minor, A minor, G. I'm sort of, you know, popping it on a downstroke right there, or just do regular strumming. C, E minor, A minor, G, C, E minor, A minor, G, like that. Isn't that nice? Does that okay? And then when it goes into the chorus, F, minor, A minor, then D minor, hangs out on that for a minute, and goes to G, till it shines right there, sort of, I guess that's like a, you know, chorus bridge kind of thing right there. And when you went from D minor to G, you go like this. You're hitting the middle, open D, G and B strings, and then putting the third finger, this finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, like that, with that open G and B, and go down 1 fret to the 2nd fret of that D string, and then open. So you go. Into it. Isn't that cool? C, E minor, A minor, G. Show you the chorus again. F, G, and when you're doing that, you can go G, open A string, and then 2nd fret. So you're just sort of taking the G major and leaving the A string open and adding it back on. Nice little walk up. C, E minor, A minor, D, that till it shines. Really cool, isn't that nice? And that little note at the top goes like this. Something like that, not exactly like the record, but it sounds really close. So you're on the 12th fret of the G string, and you go to the 14th, and then 12th of the B, 13th, and then back to the 12th, back to the 13th, back to the 12th on that B string, and back to the 14th on the G string, and then walk it up, 12th, 13th, 15th on the B string, and then you already got this finger right here, 12th of the high E string, and then 15th of that B, 12th of the high E string, back to the 15th of the B string, like that. And then, so let me play it all to start, make sure I'm right. That's what I was missing. You go right back to that 13th of the B string, and then at the very end you go like this. Something like that. So you got this finger laying across the 12th fret, and then you hit the B string and hammer it onto the 13th fret and pull it back off to the 12th fret of the B, and then 12th of the G, 12th of the D, and then 14th of the D string. All right, if you got a guitar and a saxophone for this one, you're gonna be in great shape. It's Turn the Page in E minor, and you know, it goes, here I go. Starts off with that E minor and the saxophone's going. Something like that, and the guitar starts really low and easy on the bottom 3 strings of an E minor. pretty cool, doesn't it? Just don't even worry about the others. I mean, if you hit them, you can, but just stay low. The verse. To D major. Now we're going to A major. Mostly on the low notes, and back to E minor. So you're just picking around those things like that with the verse. I'll do another one. You can go higher if you want to. D. That's pretty cool. Do a little hammer on where you release the G string and hammer it back onto the second fret in that D major. To A major. So an E minor, and you release the A string and hammer it back onto that second fret. And then it goes to the chorus, here I go, D major, back to E minor, on the road again. Here I go, back to D, up on the E minor, back to D. Now we go to A major again, to C, C major, D, up on the stage, or turn the page, E minor. Very cool. And you know, when it starts rocking at the end, here I go. On the road again. E minor, here I go. D, E minor. D, A, C, D, E minor. And one little trick I'll show is a C. When you go to the C to the D, just slide the C major up 2 frets, and it goes right there. So here I go. E minor, and you can pull down from there and get real quiet at certain moments, and it's a beautiful, cool song. And finally today, it's another great strumming song in C major. It's still the same. Right there, C major, and a lot of times I include that 3rd fret of the low E string just to add a nice little rich bass note there to the C major. So C, and the key to this one is the first strum has an open B string. So hit that open B string and go. So you're just taking the C major, whether or not you use that thing right there. So you just open B, the C major, and then put your pinky onto the 3rd fret of that B string, and then back open again when you go to an E minor. So put it all together. Like that. E minor to G. Isn't that cool? C, beginning part, and also that verse. And then when it goes F major, G, C, we're going to E7, that's E7, A minor, D minor, G, and you're still the same, C. Now when you go to that G, it does that same little walk down that we did in another song earlier in the video. Cool. So when you get the G right before the second verse, you're hitting the open D, G, and B strings, and then putting the 3rd fret of the D string with the open G and B, and going down 1 fret of the 2nd fret of the D string, and then open D, G, and B again, and C, and you're back in there for the 2nd verse. And the 2nd verse does the same thing. If you don't want to do that, you can just strum regular chords. Ready? C, C, E minor, G, and now you go to F again, G, C, E7, A minor, D minor, G, and it's still the same, C, and it quickly goes to an E7, and now you go to an A major. Isn't that cool? The whole tone of the song changes. Na, 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 na. Back to D minor, I'm sorry. Na, 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 and G. There's the walk down, still the same, C, and right back to E7, back to A major. Na, 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 D minor. Na, 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 G. There's that walk down. And now you're ready for a guitar solo in C major. And after the guitar solo, it goes right back to the F, G, na, 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 C, E7, A minor. Sorry, this time it stays in A minor. D minor, G. And at the very end of the song, it's just still the same. C, E minor. And I'll throw in one little bonus here. Isn't that cool? When you're at the E minor, you do this nice little walk up, first fret of the low E, and to this third fret right here, the G major. So I messed it up. Let me do it again. Love those songs, especially we're 2 or 3 of them in C major. Just gorgeous. I love that chord, especially with that third fret of the low E string. All right, again, if it's helpful, if you like it, become a member just for a couple bucks. It'll be a nice way of saying thanks, and I've got some exclusive videos on a bunch of great artists. Appreciate you watching. Catch you around the channel. Later.